Okay, where are the birds in Bangladesh? This is a tiny little bird in that lunar landscape. This is anyone can recognize this? This little bird is a chick of red-wattled lapwing. Thank you. Hot titty. It's wherever there's a grass field, it's there. I found this little fellow in a barren sandbar a few days back. So I just photographed it, and I will start with the places that you can visit to see birds. I will mention 5 sites, not habitats, they will be mixed. 5 sites, 5 places that you can go to find birds. And number 1 is Sundarbans. Number 1 for everything, for the sheer size, for the condition. Sundarban is the best kept forest in Bangladesh, best bird habitat in Bangladesh, and the largest. Then we have the house. I'm not showing any maps because these will be familiar places. House are those shallow lakes that we have on the northeast part of Bangladesh. Then we have the Jamuna Meghna estuary, the coast, especially the eastern part. Then we have the large rivers, large by Bangladeshi standard, not European standard. We have 2 really large river systems, the Jamuna Brahmaputra and Ganges Padma. And the low hills that we have, hill forest, that's in the eastern side of Bangladesh, in the Sylhet and Chittagong divisions. I will mention only these 5 places. There are other places where you can see birds, but to my mind, these are the best. I will show you 10 photographs of each of these places. I have reasons for selecting only those 10, not that I have only photographs of those 10. There are many, but I will only show you the 10 birds and talk a little bit about them on birds of these places. Starting with the Sundarbans. This is the iconic bird of Sundarban. It's nowhere else in Bangladesh. And Sundarban probably is the best habitat for this bird. This bird is disappearing from the world. I will show the, Professor Khalik has already mentioned the birds that are threatened in Bangladesh. But I will only show the threat, global threat, like the birds that are considered globally threatened. I will mention only that. Many more are threatened in Bangladesh. This is masked finfoot, and it is globally endangered. Endangered meaning it's almost gone, near extinction. Still I will mention the threat categories. We have 4 threat categories. Critically endangered, that soon will disappear. Then endangered, that also has very little time left on this planet Earth. And then the vulnerable ones, that is in danger, but probably will have 5-10 years to see them. Then there's another category, near threatened. It doesn't mean that they are less threatened. They may be even critically endangered. We call it near threatened because we have not completely analyzed it to exactly say whether it is critical, endangered or vulnerable. So there is one uncertainty, maybe one little factor of uncertainty, and we call it near threatened. It doesn't mean less threatened. So this is one, probably there may be a misconception that near threatened meaning we have more time for it. No, we have less there. We have to get more information, meaning we have to work more on the birds that are near threatened. There is a knowledge gap there. Okay, this masked finfoot We have been, there was a student of North South University who have been working for last 5 years there, and his report is, this report has been published, that it is almost gone. Like he found several nests a year before, and last year no nest. He couldn't find any in the same research area. Means we have to work a lot on this bird. This symbolizes Bangladesh. Sundarban is the biggest habitat, and if you lose this bird here, it is lost probably from the world, like the pink-headed duck. Professor Khalik has already mentioned pink-headed duck was abundant in Mymensingh, those areas 100 years back. And there was a person like me interested in bird, and he said, why people meaning government of British India, why they are trying to protect cotton pygmy goose and not pink-headed duck? We may lose pink-headed duck soon. And before his report could be made public, the pink-headed duck was gone. Okay, back to Sundarban birds. This was the first bird, and we will go to the next. This is the familiar bird of Bangladesh, the largest bird of Bangladesh, and it's so large that I have taken this close up, this portrait, rather than the whole bird. It's modern type, lesser adjutant. We had greater adjutant, that's completely gone. In 2003, we saw the last three, and since then, no greater adjutant. But this fellow still survives in Bangladesh, only in few places. His best habitat is Sundarban. This is also vulnerable, globally vulnerable. By Bangladesh standard, the threat category is high here. Now another iconic bird of Sundarban, we don't see it anywhere else other than Sundarban in Bangladesh, and probably this is a globally near threatened bird, and probably Sundarban is its biggest habitat, and probably the largest number of species are only surviving in Bangladesh. So we need to save this bird in Sundarban, or again, it's near threatened, and we need to study and find out the gaps in its information. This is another bird that exists only in Sundarban, nowhere else in Bangladesh, and only Bangladesh Sundarban. In India, they have been working for it for the last 5 years, couldn't find a single individual of this species in Indian Sundarban. I think it exists there. There's no reason why it shouldn't, but the number must be very small. In our part of Sundarban, it's very difficult to see this bird, but you can hear it everywhere, like it is everywhere. Its haunting call, it goes probably a kilometer, and you can hear it from all over Bangladesh part of Sundarban. This is another very interesting bird. It's not threatened, but this is streak-throated woodpecker. Its close cousin, streak-breasted woodpecker, is everywhere in Bangladesh, but this exists only in Sundarban. And this was discovered by a scientist who never visited Sundarban. He lives in United States of America, and he has been working in the museum of skins. This scientist discovered, Pamela Rasmussen, that there is a skin sent from Bangladesh part of Sundarban. So she said it probably exists still in Sundarban. So we all went looking for it, and sure it was there. This photo is from Sundarban. So this is a wonderful bird, and recently discovered in Sundarban. Fortunately, it's not globally threatened or anything, but for us it's very precious. This is a bird that you will probably first see as you enter Sundarban. It's a large eagle, the largest, one of the largest eagle. We have another eagle of this size. We will also see that bird here. But this you will see in the sky of Sundarban, wherever you go. This is doing pretty well, not threatened. Though it was assessed in 2000 probably wrongfully. It was assessed as threatened by IUC in Bangladesh, but we know it better that it's not threatened. It's doing pretty well, uh, at least better than many other birds. But this is a majestic, beautiful bird that you will see flying over your head in Sundarban, and also at the coast, elsewhere along the coast. This usually takes the snake. This is a great snake hunter. Although sea snakes are very afraid of these birds, its staple is the snake and some fish. Another very large bird, just as big, and in fact in weight bigger than the eagle, is this owl, dusky eagle owl. We have only 2 eagle owls surviving in Bangladesh, very large owls, and they take large animal. It can take a fawn. It can hunt deer cubs. This is really large, and we still see it in Sundarban, and we are very happy that it is surviving in Sundarban. Nowhere else in Bangladesh we have recently seen this dusky eagle owl. Though it could have been anywhere, it must have been, but its food is gone from elsewhere. This is another beautiful bird. I am keeping this photo only because of its beauty. This many-colored bird is a green pigeon, and it should have been everywhere in Bangladesh, but it's very difficult to see. If you go to Sundarban, when especially the fruits are there, these birds come in large flocks and they eat the fruits of the forest. This is an ordinary bird to say, to look at it. It's a small little bird called mangrove whistler. It may be ordinary, but not for us. I looked for it for 20 years, and after 20 years I could see it only for a second. And this photo is not from Sundarban. People have taken photo from Sundarban, but I failed. So I had to go to Thailand to catch this bird. There is an island where this bird is plentiful, so I caught 10 of those. Caught meaning just to ring. We catch them to ring and to take measurement and then release unharmed. So this mangrove whistler is a special for me, probably me only, or those who go for looking at small birds. This is an ordinary looking, or it looks ordinary, the red jungle fowl, who is the ancestor of our domestic chicken. They are everywhere in Bangladesh, but I show it as a bird of Sundarban because it is doing best in that forest. Everywhere else it is in problem. Sundarban is still good for this bird. So with this beautiful bird, I will end the story of Sundarban. I will take it up in the question and comment session. But I will go over to the next site, which is our basin. We have these wetlands low. This is where all the water from Cherrapunji, the highest water rainfall, all the waters of Meghalaya hills come down and they settle in these lowlands before they can drain out to the Bay of Bengal through the large rivers. So this Howrah Basin is still not as thickly populated as the rest of our land, and still home for many good birds. This is the bird of Howrah that we want to show because they're abundant in Bangladesh. People used to call them balihash. And this is the cotton pygmy goose. And the population has dwindled and almost going extinct a few years back. And we discovered that these birds, though they have plenty of food, they have no nesting place. These ducks were tree nesters, like they would nest in tree cavities. And to have large cavities where a duck can go and nest, we need old trees, 100-year, 200-year old, with large cavities. Those trees are gone. All trees of Bangladesh are as young as we are, in fact younger, just 10 year, 20 year, 30-year old. And they don't have large cavities, they have small cavities. So we thought that we would give it a nest. And how to give a nest? We haven't studied this bird because it lays nest in the cavity, and when the chicks are